Alright, now here's one thing that I know you're going to have problems with. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to fix this and how to actually be able to get into these corners. We've got a real thin corner here. And if the wallpaper is not skin up, which this is not skin up, I mean, you can paint over this and you would never know that it was wallpaper. All you have to do is just mud this side right here and you can leave that fine. But if it has skin places or you just want to put mud over it after it's primed and then you want to make sure everything's solid coated, you have to use a knife that is littler. You have to use the correct size knife. At least use one that will get all the way in the corner, and this is a flexible knife. You can try to use, if you absolutely have to, say if you have a 1 inch space to get in that you have to put mud on, then you want to cut the knife down. You can just cut this knife down with a razor blade knife or something in order to get in there. And you'll have to actually get in there and solid coat every bit of it. And so you have to have a flexible knife. I have tried to do this with a chisel before or a scraper, and it's just too stiff to actually be able to put mud on and wipe it down smoothly. It's about impossible to sand. So you're going to do this, you're going to put a little bit of mud on it, and you're going to do this exact same way that you solid coat the walls. You'll just go in the corner, push down on it as you go. Put more mud on, you won't be able to get as much mud on like you will the big sections of wall. I would stay at least a ½ inch away from the wood trim. You can, it's water-based mud, you can always get a wet rag and wipe it off. But like this is stained trim or painted, either one, you will skin it up pretty easy trying to get the mud off of it if you try to scrape it off. And if it's built up on there real thick, then you're going to have to soak it with water with a spray bottle or something. And you just don't want to have to go through all that trouble. So just stay about a ½ inch away from this, and I've got the mud. I'll zoom it in and show you what I've got here, and you can just watch me do it. All right, now, so I've got a big glob of mud built up here. What I'll do is I will turn the knife to one corner and wipe it down, and I'll hold it up against this wood trim here. So you hold it up against the wood trim and wipe it down with pressure on one corner. Now, after you've got that smoothed out, you can go back down and run it again. Now you've got the mud pushed out over here again, you run it one more time, just like that. Now, you've got mud built up over here, all you have to do is run it down that corner right there and wipe it off. I haven't got this solid coated here yet. I would recommend, if you have any real bad places, say you've got places, let me zoom the camera out here and I'll show you. All right, let's say you've got places, that are around the plug that are kind of bad. It's been peeled off. There was a big bubble around there. We peeled it off. We primed it. You might want to go ahead and put a coat of mud over the bad places first, and put as many coats as it takes to float the real bad places out. Then come back and solid coat the walls once or twice, and that way you won't have to solid coat every inch of the walls, but maybe twice. So just go ahead and float any bad places out, put mud on them, wipe them off. You might have to do it 2 or 3 times if they're pretty bad. These are not real bad. Some deep gouges will need 3 or 4 coats sometimes. And you can wait a few hours in between the coats, put another coat on. Sometimes you have to wait overnight. It's according to what the weather is and it's according to how thick the mud is on. So you can just use a 6-inch knife, put mud on it. Just put mud over the whole bad place here, all the way around. Now, just go back, wipe it off the same way. It doesn't have to look good. You say, I have some trash in my mud right there. Sometimes you'll get trash in your mud from doing around plugs and stuff that have trash inside of them that won't come loose until you wipe over them. Be sure you scrape it off real good, but when you do get trash in it, just wipe back over it until the trash goes out, or remove the trash, then put more mud over it if you have to, and just keep wiping it. And like I said, you're going to have lines in this on the first coat, maybe even the second coat. And I'm going to leave that line in there, and I'll just show you on the next one, when you put another coat on it now, and you pull it all back off, then it should fill it all in. And then when you solid coat it, you won't have to put but maybe 1 or 2 coats of solid coating on. So that's what you do in the corners. And like I say, if you have a corner that is, you know, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch that you actually need to get into, and you have trim there, you can put a piece of tape on the trim and, you know, keep the mud off the trim. And then you can actually put mud in there, just cut your little plastic knife, anything that's hard enough to actually be able to wipe down, but is flexible enough to, you know, not too flexible to fold up. I have used a piece of cardboard before. You can use cardboard. If you know, absolutely have to, you do whatever you have to do to float it out. And once you float it out 2 or 3 times, it will smooth out even with cardboard. Just make sure you cut it real sharp. Now we've done all of the touch-up we need to do, and we've let a coat of mud dry on the first coat that we put on all bad places, and it's time to start solid coating. So as you can see, I'll zoom in here in just a second, but it's got trash and lines all around here where I piled the mud on and just smoothed it out to fix the real bad places that are coming to the wall, and all the tear places in the wallpaper and sheetrock. So what we'll do now is scrape the wall down of any trash and lines that are in the sheetrock mud that is dry before we go to mudding, because if you try to just mud over this, the trash is going to come off in your mud, and it's going to get really aggravating really quick, because you're going to keep getting lines of trash in your mud when you wipe it down. So what we'll do first is wipe all of the places down and get all the trash off. That way you won't have to worry about the trash getting in your mud when it's dry and flaking off. So let me zoom in here. All right. Now we got a line here that needs to be scraped off. So we'll scrape all around every light switch and every corner. And any lines that you have like this anywhere on the wall or anything, just go ahead and scrape them down. Any kind of trash that you see on the wall, that when you put the mud on and wipe it off, it's not going to get into your mud when you wipe it off around these switches and in the corners. And in the corner here, we have some lines built up to where I've done the corner yesterday. Inside this little corner here, we have a line of mud on each side. So what we do is scrape those this way. You scrape that corner, and then you scrape this corner. Just make sure that the mud is out then, because if you go in there and it's got a line on each side, then you're going to have to put way more mud on than what you actually need to make it work. So you just need to go around and scrape down every wall before you go do any mudding.